everyone, today we're going to be doing a teaching style video of the muscle attachments on the femur. So all of these red marks will be the origin points and the blue marks will be insertion points. So today we are going to start up here on the greater trochanter of the femur. And here we see the insertion site for gluteus minimus. Okay. And gluteus minimus is going to originate up on the ilium on the inferior gluteal line. Okay. And then also on the greater trochanter, we have gluteus medius that will be inserting on the greater trochanter and originating on the anterior gluteal line of the ilium. And if we come over here onto the gluteal tuberosity, we will see the insertion point for gluteus maximus, and that will be originating on the posterior gluteal line of the ilium. So if we come back anterior, we will see this origin point here, and that's going to be the origin point for vastus lateralis. That's going to be one of our quadricep muscles. And this one is going to be originating on the, or just on the border right below the greater trochanter here. And it will also be inserting down on the tibial tuberosity and the patella, but we can't see those bones right now. So if we come a little bit more medial, we see this muscle, vastus intermedius. And remember that this is going to be sitting deeper than the rectus femoris muscle. And the origin site we can see on the femur here is going to be the anterior shaft. So it's this big red mark right here on the front of the femur will be for vastus intermedius. And this one will also insert back down on the tibial tuberosity and the patella. And to continue with the quadricep muscles, if we come more medial, we will see vastus medialis. And this is going to be running from that intertrochanteric line and will insert back down on the patella and the tibial tuberosity. Okay, so if we come posterior and we look at the lesser trochanter, we will see two muscles attaching here, and they actually will be running together. So here we have psoas major, and then here we have iliacus. And they both are going to originate at different places, but they will come down for a common insertion site. And when they run down together, it will be referred as iliopsoas. So the origin site for the iliacus is just going to be the iliac fossa of the ilium, and for psoas major, it's going to be back up on the vertebrae on your spine up here, and it's going to run from T12 to L5 and the intervertebral discs. So now if we come back onto the posterior side of the femur here, we will be looking at right below the lesser trochanter on a line called our pectineal line, and that will be the insertion site for our pectineus muscle. So here's pectineus, and for the origin site, it's going to be back up on the pubis, on the pectineal line, on this superior ramus of the pubis. Here we have adductor brevis, and this muscle is going to be inserting on part of that pectineal line and also the upper part of the linea aspera. So let me show you that again. So we have pectineal line and also upper part of linea aspera. So there we go. So pectineal line and upper part of linea aspera. And for the origin part, adductor brevis will be originating on the inferior ramus and body of the pubis. Okay, so now here we have adductor longus. So you can see that your adductor longus muscle is going to be running from this middle part of the linea aspera here. And it's going to insert here. So the origin point will be the superior ramus of the pubis, which we cannot see. Okay. And now we have another adductor muscle, adductor magnus. And this is a big muscle, so it's going to be split into two parts. So over here on this side, we have adductor part, and the adductor part of adductor magnus is going to be inserting on the linea aspera, so the entire length of the linea aspera. And you can see these fibers kind of running at an angle like we saw on the models in class. And here we have the hamstring part. Fibers are running straight up and down, and it will be inserting right here on the adductor tubercle. So they both have different insertion points, but they have the same origin point. And the origin points is going to be the inferior ramus of the pubis, ramus of the ischium, and ischial tuberosity. And part of this hamstring part will come onto the inferior ramus of the pubis, and that will also be connecting with the adductor part. So it's going to run on along that whole bottom part of the ischium and pubis. Okay. So now if we come down more, right here we have biceps femoris short head. So if we remember biceps femoris short head, it does not cross that hip joint, which means it's not going to extend the hip. So it is not originating in that same part as the other three hamstrings. Your biceps femoris long head, semimembranosus, and semitendinosus are all going to originate up on that ischial tuberosity of the os coxa, and it will not be a part of doing the same action as those muscles. So because it doesn't cross that hip joint, it will not be doing hip extension. So if we come a little bit more lateral, we could pretend that the fibula is right here, and that is where biceps femoris short head and the long head will be inserting. And what we can see here is biceps femoris short head originating on this bottom part of the linea aspera. So we are on the lateral lower part coming off that linea aspera. So just to show it again with the muscle on. Okay. So now we are going to be talking about another muscle that runs right below that one. So the plantaris muscle, if we can see here, it's going to run all the way down to our calcaneal tuberosity. And this muscle, it will be originating on the inferior lateral aspect of the supracondylar line of the femur. So just going to be right there for its origin, and it will insert all the way down onto the calcaneal tuberosity. Now right below our plantaris origin, we have another origin point, and here we have gastrocnemius. And if we remember with gastrocnemius, we have two heads. We have a medial head and a lateral head. Okay, so our medial head will be originating on the medial condyle of the femur, and the lateral head will be originating on the lateral condyle of the femur. Okay? And then both the heads are going to run together down towards the calcaneal tuberosity, same as plantaris. Okay, so that is all of the attachments that we can see on the femur, and I hope that was helpful.